it's a live stream for going live and doing the stuff in the live stream. Because it's a live stream, we're doing a live stream. It's so great because it's a live stream, and we love the live stream, and it's so great, and it's so wonderful, and we love it because it's a live stream. Because it's a live stream. It's just my jingle. My jingle as people come in before I really get going and talking about, whatever else. Just it's a live stream. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. I got a cat with me today. It's pretty cool. Smokey, you want to say hi to the people? You're kind of just resting here. I don't really want to bother you. You say hi to the people. I know I picked you up. I'm sorry. Betrayal. How dare you move me, human? How dare you touch me, human? You think you could just... I'm a cat. You think you can just touch me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for disrespecting you, Smokey. So it's a live stream. I am not prepared. I never prepare for these. One of these days, that's a lie. I'm never going to prepare for these. But like you would expect me to at some point prepare. I never know. YouTube always, obviously, you start a live stream, and it says like the generic title is like Drew Skaggs is live, and it gives like the thumbnail as your profile picture. And if you want like engagement, and if you want to be like, whatever, like do it properly, you gotta put an actual title and thumbnail. I don't know. Every thumbnail that I put for these lives is just like, where's God? Why should I believe in God? God who? It's just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. And like, the thumbnail is literally just me minutes before I start the live, just taking a picture and then putting a little caption next to me. Like, that's it. That's it. YouTube's making me do too much work. Don't they know that I don't even prepare for what I'm going to say in these live streams? And all this setup of thumbnails and titles and stuff. I don't even know what the live stream is going to be about. The movie idea is about a pro poker player. Every time he has a good hand. Thoughts. Does sound very comical. Not even going to lie. Sounds like it could be like the start of a movie, right? Like he like has to like overcome. He's got to figure out why he has this issue and like overcome it, and then he becomes like the best poker player in the world. Like you can play with that. You definitely got a starting point, if nothing else. You definitely got a starting point. Should I just read comments? I have ADHD, so I have like a million different like short story or movie ideas or whatever, like scene ideas that just pop in my head, but like never anything fleshed out enough to do anything with. Who's been talking to me? I am a pro expert live streamer. Not really. I'm not a pro expert at anything. That's something I always try to like emphasize so much in my videos. I'm a person on the internet trying to make the world a better place, speaking out against things that I think should be spoken out against. That's about it. I'm not a scholar. I'm not smart. I'm not nothing. Like I get commenters like, "Oh, this dude thinks he's all that." I don't. In fact, I probably have a lower view of myself than the people making those comments have of me. Christ is king, okay? He has inherited all nations, okay? He's not dead, he's alive, seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in glory to judge the living and the dead. Just a lot of... You got a nice story. You got a nice story with some claims. But you got to prove a lot of it. It's like when people scream, there were hundreds of people who witnessed Christ's resurrection and stuff and his miracles and stuff. So it says in the Bible. And there are so many eyewitnesses. We don't even have eyewitness accounts in the Bible. We have not eyewitness accounts making claims about hundreds of eyewitnesses. That's what we have. And we just have it in the Bible. That's really all we got. I should probably make a video about this at some point. People, because I upset people in the comments, if you could believe it. I upset people again recently because I made a comment in one of my videos like, don't have any reason to believe that Jesus was anything supernatural, assuming he existed to begin with. And people are always like, you're an idiot. So many people agree that Jesus existed and he did, and you're just not looking at the evidence. I don't really have an issue with the idea that Jesus existed. I don't. I have a lot of issue believing that he was anything divine or supernatural, or that we should follow him. But I really don't have any issue believing that he existed, or with the idea that he existed. I have some reservations, because looking at the evidence that he just existed, that a dude who made some claims, gained a following, and got executed existed, just looking at some of the evidence that he existed, I don't know. It's not the most solid, and it's also Christianity we're talking about that has a lot of issues with its credibility. It has a whole book full of things that didn't happen. Probably just looking at the evidence, it really doesn't look good. But then we have this kind of evidence that the dude existed to begin with. So, if the dude existed, sure, that's fine. And maybe the reservations are just my fault, something on my part, some kind of incredulity on my part, and I'll take full responsibility for that. And I'm not denying that he existed. I wouldn't debate against his existence. I just have some reservations, and maybe that's just untrustingness of Christianity on my part. But I don't know. One commenter put a Bible verse, which is, the Lord laughs at them, for he knows that their time is coming. Doesn't sound like an all-loving God. It's a weird verse. In the context of the psalm, it makes a little bit more sense, but it's a weird verse just to throw at people. God's laughing at you because he knows you're wrong and he knows you're going to go to hell and be judged. It's that's not very all-loving of you. That's not a very loving thing for a God to do. Why would he do that? I thought he was, I don't know, sad or something. That he didn't want me to suffer or whatever. That he's upset that my time is coming. I don't know. It's stuff like that. Where it's God loves you. He wants to have a relationship with you. But also, he's laughing at how stupid you are. It's I don't know. I don't know, man. It's the back and forth. And it doesn't help when it sometimes does seem like every single Christian I get in my comments has a different idea of Christianity. Just the whole thing's just too ambiguous and vague. They're not a true follower of Christ. What does that even mean? What does it mean fully to be a follower of Christ? When you really get into the details, there's so many disagreements. And when I bring up the denominations and the different variations, I often get people saying, well, atheists disagree on a lot of things. Atheism isn't a belief system or anything. It is a lack of belief in a God. That's it. Apart from that, we can disagree on whatever we want. It's not really an organized group or someone with a set of rules or some kind of religion or anything like that. It's just people. We've tried to organize ourselves a little bit, just finding communities and stuff, and helping each other out, and helping people deconstruct and whatnot. um, helps out and stuff. But as far as beliefs, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of disagreement. There are a lot of atheists who agree on a lot of different points, but like there are a lot that don't, and we don't have to. So comparing how different atheists are to the different interpretations or denominations of Christianity is two completely different things. I watched a documentary about a snake church in West Virginia earlier. Yeah, I honestly, I made a video not long ago, and I deleted it. I didn't post it because you'd be surprised how many like between me writing down a video idea and posting it, there are so many opportunities for it to be deleted. I have deleted. I have put videos in the upload box of whatever platform I post on first, and then taking them down and deleted the video because I didn't quite like how the video was coming across and saying. I almost made a video because somebody commented, "Faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains," and I almost feel like, then demonstrate, do it. You're supposed to, if you have faith, you're supposed to be able to move mountains and handle venomous snakes without harm. But I don't like talking about that passage too much because I don't want too many people getting ideas of like, oh, wait, if I have faith, I can handle a venomous snake. No, step away from the snake. Step away from the snake. Just don't. It's like I heard a story of a dude at a zoo. He jumped into a lion enclosure. He's like, God's gonna protect me. He didn't. It's like, no, like, stop. So I try not to talk about that too much, just because I don't want to give anyone I don't want to give anyone ideas. I don't want anyone to go and try to do anything. I wish I uploaded all of them. Yeah. I mean, I try to be careful with what I say, and sometimes it's literally just like one like word, or one little sentence, or one little something that I don't like, and I trash the video. Or I've gotten really good. I'm sure it's not like seamless or anything, but I've gotten really good at like taking out like a half a second thing of a video of me saying like a single word. Be like, I don't really like that little bit, and like taking it out and connecting the two halves to where like they still kind of flow nicely and sound good. Sometimes when you watch my videos, if you see that I've cut, sometimes it's just me cutting out stuff. Just like, I don't really know if I like that sentence that I said. I don't really know if I fully agree with it. There's a lot that goes in. There's a lot that goes into the videos. I do have a video that I'm editing right now. Not right now, obviously, but in the process of editing, responding to everyone talking about my cat ears in my shorts with the butterfly in the background. I chose that corner of my house, that spot in my house, because so far it's the best spot that I have found to record for a lot of reasons. Like I used to record here in my living room. Well, that requires people to not be in my living room. And when I have a wife, a roommate, and a daughter, who are like, at least the wife and daughter, or at least the daughter, when the wife's at work, always here, I have to wait until people go to bed. I get up before the sun does 5 days out of the week. I don't always want to stay up after, 9:30 when my child is in bed to record. Because some of these, like 45-second videos take like 15 minutes to record, especially because I can't speak. I'm okay with the lives because I'm usually just like rambling, but when I'm trying to make a video where I have just organized, solid, trying to get out what I'm trying to say in like 60 seconds or less, no, forget about it. I have so many takes, so many deleted, so many whatever, so I don't always want to stay up and do that. But I've learned that if I go into my room and close the door, I don't even need to close it all the way, you can't hear anything. Like my daughter's out here watching a movie, you can't hear it from there. So it's like, great, I can just sneak off for a minute because she's fine. She's pretty self-sustaining, especially if I leave the door cracked. She's not going anywhere. I can record there, so I don't have to stay up late recording. So that gives me more motivation to record. It's also just brighter. I don't feel like I have to worry about people thinking that I'm doing drugs or whatever because I used to record in this spot and my pupils were huge because it's dark. Um, so I feel better. I can be someplace I have more light, maybe smaller pupils. Although some videos my pupils are still big. I don't know why. But it's just an overall better. It's not the point. Not the point. And there's a butterfly in the background. Whatever. You know, I like butterflies. It's fine. It's nothing like. It's not like a product placement. You know, it's not like a Marvel poster or anything. Like butterfly can stay. And then somebody commented on my video, if you stand in front of the butterfly, it looks like you have like cat ears. So now it's a thing. If you watch me in my videos, I will sometimes like keep positioning myself to where I have cat ears, because now I feel like I have to. I mean, I don't feel like I have to, because you know I don't, and I'm sure I'll get tired of it in the future. But like cat ears, you know, it's funny, it's silly, it's stupid, and I like it. It's one of those. It's one of those things, you know. Uh, so that's why I have cat ears in my videos, and I keep getting more and more comments. There's like nice cat ears, nice painted fingernails, nice whatever. It's just like, thanks, just whatever. I feel like I'm due for a fingernail post. Like every now and then, I've done a few in the past where like if it's been a while and I've racked up enough comments of people complaining about my fingernails, just be like, okay, yes, I have painted fingernails. Bring on the comments, like say it, get it all out. You know, it's whatever. They're a trademark now, and they're awesome. I'm not upset about them being a trademark. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure I'll get tired of it at some point and like not make it a big deal, or maybe I'll find a better place to record. I don't know if there would be, but I do like the cat ears. It's just fun. It's stupid stuff. Like I really try not to take myself seriously when I'm making this content. I really try not to. I have so much mucus back here tonight. Please forgive me. When I was comparing in a video, I was comparing homosexuality to heterosexuality, and that they're basically the same thing. Someone said it's not the same. You better educate yourself. The unhealthy consequences are not worth it. Bro, it's just the bigotry. You know, it's just. What does that even mean? People come out against things like atheism and trans people and gay people and whatever else with these ideas that they've been brought up with that don't actually represent what they're speaking out against. But our God is in the heavens. He does whatever he pleases. He does. I still reserve the right to call him an asshole when he's an asshole, and not to follow him. But like you're right, you know, he's the potter, we're the clay. He can do whatever he wants, and I can flip him the bird and walk away. I gotta come in here. You're not that deep, bud. I know. I try very hard to get that message across. If there's nobody to hold you accountable, of course there's nobody to stop you. Yeah. Reading the Bible, honestly, the God of the Bible really does seem man-made. Because what would some of these power-hungry men do if they were unchecked? They could just decimate entire civilizations that they disagree with. They could flood the planet and reset it if they want to. Spinning Christ kick. Critical hit. I also love the gaslighting. When I made a post, whenever I see someone posting "your body, my choice," I can't help but think it's not about protecting babies. And I got so many commenters saying, nobody actually says that. Nobody's saying that. The only time people say it is when people like you are speaking against it. I've seen them. I've seen them. It's like, don't try to tell me that they don't exist. Also, it's so important to point out, life exists without you. There are so many people that are like, I've never heard a Christian say that, or no, nobody ever says that. They do. I'm sorry if they didn't run it by you first or get your permission, but like, the world exists without you. People have experiences without you. People do things without your say so. It's like, you aren't God. You're not the all-knowing body that knows everything going on and that's heard every single thing that everyone's ever said. Just behind couch throws holy, not the holy hand grenade. Tons of people say it. They just don't want to believe humanity can be that wicked. Yeah, or that they are the same side as those people, but they are. Yeah. We are pro-life. We're also pro-gun. Christianity doesn't save you from being an evil person. No. Unfortunately, I don't really know what does fully save you from being an evil person. Some love and empathy, if I can speak, can go a long way. But unfortunately, terrible people exist in every shape, size, color, and creed you can think of. And that's just a fact. And so do good people, for what it's worth. But yeah, I have met wonderful atheists. I have met wonderful Christians. I have met terrible atheists. I have met terrible Christians. I try not to be like them. I've seen some of the atheist content creators who come out and just, Christianity's a mental illness. They're so stupid, and here's why. It's like, shut up. Shut up. You're representing all of us. Shut up. Love, empathy, understanding saves you from being an evil person. Malice or wickedness is an effective method to achieve happiness or your goals in life. Yeah. Hope my chat doesn't freeze up like last week. If it does, I am signed on to my Broken Spectacles account on the laptop. So hopefully if my chat freezes, that chat won't. So I'll have that as a backup. If you don't know what Broken Spectacles is, it's my gaming channel that I haven't posted on in like 2 or 3 years. It's linked at the bottom of my channel if you want to check it out. It's another thing that I like to advertise just to show people how not serious I am. It's like, if you think I want to be taken seriously or that I'm like anything scholarly or whatever, watch some of those videos. Like, that's who you're watching. It's the same guy. When push comes to shove, any good person can turn bad, yeah. If he doesn't, he will need your phone. Yeah, she's at work right now. Last week was one of the rare times where I got Taylor next to me in a live stream when she isn't at work. And so it just worked out, Maybe it was a miracle or, by the grace of God or whatever that she was there when it froze up. Because I don't know if I would have known what to do, honestly. I don't know if I would have thought to pull up something else. But it worked out. It worked out. Everything's fine. I often wonder, because, I would like to be successful in life. And maybe, like, content creation could, like, get me somewhere, monetarily and, financially and life-wise just successful. But a lot of people who become successful in life aren't great. And they do it by stepping over people and, like, destroying other people. And I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be that type of person, even if that's what it takes to succeed. I like to say, I know I have morals. I know I do. Because if I didn't, this would be a Christian channel. And whether I believe in it or not, this would be a Christian channel, and I'd be hyping people up about Christ and defending Christianity, because you're going to gain a following a lot faster that way and get to a monetary status on these apps a lot faster that way. But I'm going the more difficult route, and the more you get hate route, because I think it's the right thing to do. And apparently, fighting for my love, fight. Hello. Those who have power don't obtain it by being nice or being evil. They do it by being smart. Stepping on people is not required to find success. I hope you are right. Hope you're right. You did tell me you'd show up. And I'm happy to see you. Welcome. I'm always happy to see, and I got a couple of them in chat right now. I'm always happy to see people who come back. I don't know why. I'm very hard on myself and critical on myself. So like, I see people, recurring people in my comments and in my live chats. I see people who like follow me on like different platforms. It's just like, why? Like I have like fans. It's just like, why? Weirdos? Just because I don't think highly of myself at all. So the idea that people like me and support me and like watching my content is bizarre to me. I have a cold or something? I'm just a little mucusy tonight. I'm not exactly sure why. I am about due to take my allergy medication, which I didn't take. That might be part of it. That's okay. Because you care about me? Well, thank you. I also think it goes without saying that stepping on people is actually going to prevent you from being successful as an influencer. This is true. This is true. But I can be manipulative. If I wanted to have a Christian YouTube channel or whatever, I could manipulate people. Because I was pretty good at it. People thought that I was being called to become a priest. Like I was pretty good, defending Christianity and whatnot, or speaking out in defense of it. I was never really in a debate or anything to test how good I was at defending it, but people who are already Christian very much liked what I said. Won't be here for long. Wish the best for you. It's okay. Just showing up for any period of time. Nobody's obligated to watch any of my content. So the fact that anyone clicks on any of my content is like super cool to me. It's like any amount of view time. I know all too well, religious preacher Drew. Yeah, Taylor had to put up with that. I do feel bad for that. I figured it out. I'd like to believe that I'm better now. Speaking of all of my content, something that's been just a little pet peeve of mine is when I get commenters who are like, you only go for like the bottom of the barrel arguments. You never attack these bigger arguments. I've never seen you argue against this one. You ignore them. And like, I'll look at the arguments they give. And for one, they're usually not good. And for two, they're usually arguments that I have responded to, either in a live stream or in a video or whatever. I've had some commenters who like, I'll make a video on a topic, and then like a week or two later, they'll be like, you never talk about this. Like, brother, it's like, if you don't watch all of my content, that's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. You don't need to watch any of my content. But don't speak as if you do watch all of my content. Don't sit here and say he never talks about this and that and all this stuff. You never talk about the transcendental argument for a god. I'm sorry if not every video I make is about your God of the Gaps argument. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, but like, I've mentioned it. I think you're definitely the kind of person to be successful. It's just a matter of figuring out how to make your voice reach more people effectively. Yeah. It's figuring out algorithms. Algorithms are hard. And especially like you can scroll through like some of my YouTube shorts. Some of them have like no views. I mean, none of them have like a ton of views, but usually they get like a few hundred. Some of them have like less than 100, because I'll put something or say something, and YouTube's like, I don't like that, and it's shadow realm, you know. Joshua, I don't know what that means. Algorithms are part of it, but it's also about understanding people and how they think. That is true. That is true. I'd like to think I do decent at that. It's something that I'm always working on and always trying to be better at. YouTube sucks. I deal with them almost every time I comment. Yeah. I didn't even know until like a couple months ago. I've been making this content for like 2 years now. I didn't know until a few months ago that YouTube had that I can look at hidden comments, because sometimes comments just weren't popping up. And like I've had like debates with people in the comments, and they're just like, I just said this. I'm like, I'm sorry, your comments aren't showing up. Maybe like try rewording it or whatever. I didn't know there's a whole like held thing, because I'm usually not on the studio on my laptop, and I think that's where I saw it. And it's like the feature to look at the held comments is clearly visible. I didn't know that. So like all these comments that YouTube was hiding, I just like didn't see. It's like, yeah, YouTube will just like pull comments and I can review them, but I'm not usually in the habit of going through YouTube, because it's just kind of a thing to get to it. Like, I don't know how to do it on my phone or whatever. But yeah, people, some of these platforms, some of these social media platforms are just, I don't know. Like TikTok. I hear that TikTok, they're still talking about banning it or whatever, and like they might ban it, and I'm just sitting here like, you know what? Thank God. Just, that's fine. Which, it's the one that I have like the most followers on or whatever, and I actually do get some monetization from TikTok. Every like however many months I get like $15 from TikTok, just from like views and stuff. So like I shouldn't trash it too much, but I don't like the app. I don't. I signed up for the Lemon 8 app yesterday, the new TikTok side app or whatever. Glad you never downloaded TikTok. Yeah. You're not missing anything. It's I don't know. I try to post on whatever platforms I can. Like, I'm even on Blue Sky in the new Lemon 8 app. Like, I try to post as much as I can, get myself out there. But yeah, some of these apps just ain't it. And especially, I'm going to see if I can word this in a way that doesn't get me in trouble with YouTube. But an issue that a lot of social media apps have is inappropriate accounts and postings, bots that show you pictures and stuff of provocative things and whatnot. And one thing that people use to gauge how good an app is how good the app is at controlling those things, controlling all those provocative, whatever, posts and bots and bot accounts and whatnot. I signed on to Lemon 8, stepped in the door, first step in the door, and the For You page was just provocative stuff. It's just like, oh my gosh, Lemonade, like that's what I'm greeted with? Like, not only do you clearly not have a handle on these accounts and on these bots and stuff, but they're here to greet your new people at the front door. That's the first thing we see. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So it's not. But I'm on the app now. Start posting videos on that, because why not? I already have like 30 something followers. I've only posted 2 videos on it. I wonder, because TikTok displays it at the top of your page because it's connected to TikTok. So I wonder if it's TikTok followers. Just seeing that I have it and coming over. I don't know. Because I have like 2 post likes. And like, that's it. And 2 posts. I don't know. It is what it is. Social media is a thing. It's not fun. It's not fun. There's a lot that goes into it. I'll admit, I was one of those people who's like, yeah, content creators. They just like make videos and post them. Like, that's so easy. No, it's not. There's a reason I haven't posted on my gaming channel in like 2 or 3 years, because the time and effort and energy it takes to record something properly. It's not just sitting down playing a video game. You gotta like do it right. And then edit that. I don't have that time. Cannot justify that time. It was easy in 2010. I believe it. Should have hopped on that. Should have hopped on that wagon sooner. I often think like, man, I wish I would have like started this stuff sooner. But then like, how soon, right? Because like nobody wants to listen to like the 19-year-old kid who thinks that they know everything, even though I know I don't know everything. But who trying to sound smart or whatever. I started this when I was like 25. Just like that's about as young as you can start and be taken somewhat seriously. I am trying to keep an eye out on those other social media apps to jump on them and start posting on them as soon as they exist. Try to gain some kind of something on them. Do what we can. Do what we can. Okay, so when I made my video about why I don't accept Jesus, because there's no reason to believe that he was anything divine, and also he's the God of the Bible who's kind of a monster. Someone's like, except there are countless eyewitnesses to Jesus fulfilling all 300 prophecies before he died. First off, we talked about the eyewitnesses earlier in this live. There's not any verified eyewitnesses of Jesus. In the fulfillment of the prophecies, because like, the book's already sketchy in its legitimacy. So like, who's to say someone didn't write something like in the Old Testament, like this is going to happen, and then people, when they were telling the story or whatever of the stories in the New Testament, not necessarily the people who wrote it down, but the people who told it knew about the prophecies of the Old Testament. They could have just like written that into the New Testament. So it's like, it's not, if you can't prove that the entire thing is happening and is happening as depicted, prophecies don't do much for me. And less about who is saying what, and what they are saying is actions that define us. Fair. If that 19-year-old kid is spitting facts, then they shall listen to what that 19-year-old says. This is true. What else is sketchy? Just the lack of evidence, for starters. The revisions that have been made throughout the years. You can tell different passages have been retranslated or mistranslated intentionally or unintentionally. Passages have been shoehorned in. The book of Mark was initially like an entire chapter or 2 shorter than what it is now, and people just added to it. We don't have any real credible evidence for the supernatural things that happen in the Bible. And that's like going back to like my doubts, my reservations on whether or not a Jesus guy existed at all. I definitely don't believe he would be anything divine or anything. But like, I even have reservations on whether or not he existed at all, just because looking at the entire thing and how not supported like the whole narrative is, I'm just like, maybe he didn't even exist. Maybe it is all just myth from nothing. I don't know. the NIV. I like the NRSV. Has been my favorite so far. Just with the language and just like reading it. I remember when I first after reading like the King James and the New American, when like especially the King James, like the Shakespearean talk and whatever. I'm an English major, you know. I have an English degree, so like I've studied Shakespeare, so like I know what they're saying, I can understand it. But like the plain English of the NRSV is just dopamine to the brain after reading, you know, stuff like the King James. My pet theory is that Jesus existed. Pet theory is that Jesus existed. He was some sort of low-level cult leader who was then extrapolated, and the apostles wrote a fan fiction about him to recruit more to the faith. Something like that, you know. It sounds about right, honestly. Most older religions got wiped by Christianity. Yeah. People say like, well, Christianity has to be true because like it's the most widespread religion. One, it's got some competition. You know, it's up there. Christianity and Islam might be like fighting a little bit, but like, you know, it's up there. It's definitely like top whatever. But it doesn't necessarily make it true. I mean, I always like to say like, just because so many people believe in it or follow in it, the general consensus in the U.S. used to be that slavery was fine, and it wasn't ever. So it's like, it doesn't really matter what the biggest religion is, especially when you look back at the history of how Christianity spread and you see some of the manipulation tactics within Christianity that bring people in and keep people in. It's like, it's not the most compelling argument. And then people, speaking of just like sketchiness of like the credibility, because I make arguments about, you know, other people have given their lives. It's like, why would the apostles give their lives for something, you know, they don't believe in or whatever? People have died for this religion. People have died for things that aren't even religions. But then people say like, well, the apostles saw it. They would have like known. They saw him perform miracles. They would have known. It's like, you're assuming everything in that account happened as depicted in that account. You're assuming that this dude performed miracles. You're assuming these apostles believed that. You're assuming they were all put to death. Like, it's just, when you take the whole narrative as is, yeah, I understand how it sounds. But also, even if they thought that they were seeing something, that doesn't mean they were. Like, there's the Heaven's Gate cult, where people were convinced to commit suicide so that they could hop on a comet that would take them, that was actually an alien spaceship that could take them to heaven. You can be convinced of stuff. You know, there are people who go to faith healing churches today who think that they're actually witnessing miracles, faith healing miracles, when they're not. So it's like, you can be duped. You can, especially the further back you go on the human timeline. And I think where a lot of supernatural ideas and beliefs came from. This religion and that religion, or even just 1,000 years ago when some of these religions were coming about, nobody knew where the sun went at night. People didn't know. Like, what causes the change of the seasons? Try going back to someone 10,000 years ago and explaining to them that the seasons change because of the Earth's tilt on its axis as it orbits the sun. They're not going to have the first clue what you're talking about. So, solar eclipses used to be seen as magical and miraculous, and they're not. So it's like, maybe this dude was doing some cool stuff that was mistaken for miracles, and maybe even he thought that he was something divine. There are people alive today who think that there's something divine, that there's some chosen thing of God, that there's some God or whatever, and not all of them are crazy. So it's just like, it's there's so much more to it. There's so many more explanations. There's so much more. I don't know. Muslim, Christianity, and Islam come from the same denomination. Yeah. Atheism is just the lack of belief in a God. It's not really sketchy. It's just like I don't have sufficient reason to believe in a God, so I don't. They can't even tell us where it came from. Well, the lack of belief in something is the default. And it could just come from doubting. Even if belief was the default, or we have civilizations that people are born into that believe in Christianity, you gotta doubt. Someone's gotta end up doubting. Someone's gotta say, okay, wait, how do we know this is true? And maybe they just didn't get good answers. The apostles about the black hole, about a black hole, and watch them lose their minds. Sit there and explain to them about the supermassive black hole that might be at the center of our galaxy. You're speaking tongues to them. Atheism is about science. It wouldn't make sense for everything to come out of nothing. Am I wrong? Atheism isn't necessarily about science. They do become mixed a lot, but atheism is just the lack of belief in a God. There's a lot of scientifically illiterate atheists. It's just, I don't have enough reason to believe in a God. That's it. That's all atheism is. And atheists also don't claim, at least a lot of us activists and whatnot, don't claim that everything came from nothing. We just don't know what that something was. Maybe it does make sense, maybe it doesn't. We don't know. But even if something did create it, we don't know what did. Yeah. Hello? So do y'all believe in anything supernatural? Well, be careful when using y'all, because, like I said, atheism is just a lack of belief in a God. That's one thing. There are atheists who believe in an afterlife. There are atheists who believe in ghosts. There are atheists who don't believe in evolution. There are atheists who are pro-life, atheists who are pro-choice, atheists who are Republican, Democrat. There's a lot of different mix. So there's any all atheist statement that is anything about anything other than just lacking belief in a God is going to be wrong. So just be careful with the lumping there. I don't think you can have a nothing. I don't either. Atheist is just someone who lacks belief in a God. And I'm sorry if chat's delayed. I know looking up at because I'm watching the stream elsewhere. My face is frozen. That's cute. Did I pause it? Why is it frozen? Okay. I got scared for a second. Okay. Sorry. So I know I'm at a delay, and then you're probably delayed. So like if I say something and then like you come in chat and like sometimes like you might like say something before it might be. I think the majority of atheists are more agnostic. Please don't crucify me. I remember that being painful. Yeah, no, just agnostic atheists, I would argue, are most atheists, or a lot of atheists. Like, we don't hold the belief in a God, but we don't claim to know for certain that there isn't one. Which honestly, me questioning myself recently about like my beliefs in if Jesus existed at all as a dude or not, helped me understand more of what agnostic is. Because like in my brain, like just holding an agnostic point of view, it's like, all right, but if you really ask yourself, are you convinced of a belief in a God or not? Like, are you convinced of the belief in a God? No, then you're agnostic atheist. That's kind of what I thought. But then sitting on that idea of like, did Jesus really exist? Did a dude named Jesus exist? I really don't know if I could say, the equivalent of theist or atheist on that point. I think I would just be this more middle ground of not knowing where to cast my vote, of agnostic. Gnostic atheists are truly something special. I used to be a Gnostic atheist. I used to think I knew that God exists and that nothing could ever convince me, which is when my experiences with the connection I thought I felt, the things I thought I felt, I thought nothing could ever convince me that God's not real. And now here I am. So, what can you do? It means they falsified an unfalsifiable concept. Basically, they did the impossible. Through God, all things are possible. Agnostic just means searching for truth, or that's just what I thought. I've always just thought of it as just like just not casting your vote in either hat, It's like I really just it's like a genuine I don't know, That's kind of how I've always seen it. Dumakarn can probably explain it better than me. Last I checked, he's agnostic, and he understands it a lot better than I do. I suppose it's reasonable to say that many atheists are Gnostic atheists towards specific gods or religions. Like, I'm Gnostic in my belief that Christianity is false. Yeah. Especially, we talked in a previous live stream about the more specific you get about a certain god in a religion. This god does this, and this happened, is like if you want to treat the Bible as, the inerrant word of God, and that is a complete representation of the Christian God, and then like we can prove that the global flood didn't exist. That's a hole, and there's not supposed to be holes, and so these things start to fall apart the more specific you get with a god. So I definitely agree with that. I can't deny the possibility of a god outright either. Okay, so we all know that the world was created by physical materials. But what about our consciousness, which is not material or physical, but we know it's there? What are your thoughts on that? Consciousness, to me, is... I often describe it as a projection from a projector. You have a movie projector, and it's projecting an image onto a wall. When you turn off the projector, or if it breaks or whatever, that image just kind of goes away. So and yes, the image is photons and whatnot, but without thinking too scientifically about it, and there's no perfect analogy. The projection isn't something physical like the projector. It's just a reaction. It's something that the projector does. Fire might be a better example. Fire is a chemical reaction. When that fire goes out, it just stops existing. And the chemicals and everything that were there are still there. Like, when we pass away, matter cannot be created or destroyed. Energy cannot be, whatever. And it won't be. Like, the matter will be there. The energy will be transferred into other things. The soil, something eating us, parasites or bugs eating our corpse or whatever, decomposition and whatnot. All that stays there. But the consciousness, the thing that the physical matter does, the chemical reactions from that physical matter, stops. And we essentially cease to exist after this life. It's just kind of how I think about it. It's more of a chemical reaction. Is Jesus real? I don't know. So the Bible is false, but you can't deny the possibility that it's true. I can have some pretty big denials about the truth of the Bible. A consciousness and conscious is material. It is fully physical, as it is a process of our brains and nervous system. Yeah. Consciousness is an emergent property. Yeah. and the consciousness used to be a really big hanging point for me with just belief in the supernatural and whatnot, because like I'm here, you know, it really feels like you are like a soul in a body, and that there's something more. It's just like I used to give the argument, I'm too here to not be here. Like I can't just cease to. I'm here. I'm conscious. I can't just like cease to exist. Like consciousness can't just go away. That doesn't make sense. But the more I think about it, yeah, it could. You didn't exist for however long. I forget how the age of the universe, or even longer than the age of the universe. Uh, you didn't exist for forever in that direction before you were born, or before you were became alive at whatever point in the process you become alive. We've actually been talking about Jesus and whether or not he's a real person, and some of my reservations with that. The universe is 14. Earth is 7 and the universe is 14. Right? Am I dumb? Age of universe. 13.7. 14. 14 billion. And age of Earth is 7 billion, I thought, right? Am I just... No. 4.5. Okay, that's right. There's so much... I'm trying to learn so much, and my little ADHD brain is not having any of it. The amount of information I've tried to cram into my brain and keep okay and keep in my brain, because I have if you've seen Inside Out, I have those things that walk around with the vacuum cleaner and suck out the dead memories that aren't being used and throw them in the dump, and they're working overtime. If I don't use information regularly, my brain throws it away. I will if I have to go if I have to go to someplace like far away where like I need like GPS, like 30-minute drive through the highway or whatever, like once a month or so, or even more than that, and it's not like a regular set basis, I will need a GPS every time. I don't care if it's years down the line, I will still need a GPS. How do I know this? Because I've done it. I have a buddy that lives out of town, and I used to go to his house quite frequently in like high school and college, and I would always have to have the GPS because my brain just won't. It's like my brain just gets rid of information. So if I haven't thought about how old the Earth is in a minute, my brain's just like, all right, so you don't need this. It's like, I'm trying to learn stuff. I'm trying to be, an activist for this stuff. I'm trying to talk about this stuff and know this stuff. One, because it's cool, and two, because it's useful for what I'm doing. My brain just rejects. There are so many like quick Google searches that I have to do. I'm just like, what's what does this religion say? What does that religion say? Like stuff that I've looked up and studied, but like my brain just I need refreshers. I need like whole list. I even have study notes on my phone just to give me quick refreshers because they fade so quickly. And I'm just trying to shove so much information in my brain, and my brain is not having it. Anyway, the difference between fire and human consciousness is we know right and wrong. Yes, fire is chemical reaction, but have you heard one talk or walk or anything like that? Or anything else but burn? True. The human brain is weird. Hi. 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 Is the cat brain weird too? Yeah. I'm gonna pick you up and get your white hair all over my black hoodie. You wanna come with me? Oh. Oh. I got you. She's Peanut. You sweet girl. You're not going to help my allergies or my mucusiness. You're so happy. So cute. I need to cuddle the kittens more. I know it kills me, but like, I used to cuddle him a lot more. I stopped because, you know, I'm dying. My allergies. Alright. Alright. I need to read the chat. I need to scroll down in the chat. Peanut. She loves it when I give her scratches on the neck and the head because she can't reach. She's got some fluff on her and she's got some brain damage, so it's very hard for her to like itch. She'll like walk around the house and like stop and like kick the floor, like trying to like scratch herself. So I have to like go help her. There have been times where she's walked up to me and like meowed at me. And I'm just like, what? And she just goes and tries to itch. I was like, oh, you need help. You need me to itch your scratch. She's just full on head in my hand as I'm scratching her neck. Such a content kitty. Anyway. She's making biscuits. Anyway, what were we talking about? We all started somewhere. I began this journey of discovery when I was 28. I am now 25. It's a lot of information to digest. It's a lot. And I'm still young, and I've only been doing this for 2 years, you know. But it is a hobby. Like I'll listen to debates on my car ride to work, you know, on my drive to work, or when I'm in the shower or whatever, or if I have to do chores or whatever, I'll put something like something relevant to this field on and just listen to that. I like it. Christopher Hitchens. I like Christopher Hitchens. I actually got his book God Is Not Great in the mail today, and started reading that. I do like Christopher Hitchens. I got God Is Not Great and The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. This is their books that I thought would be interesting. She is purring up a storm. She is so happy right now. I encourage you to think of God in another way. God created the universe and physics and science. He is a creator of reality, but not creator of you. He is the creator of what made you possible. Maybe. Should read it on stream. Maybe. You don't need to see me try to read live on stream. You think I'm fumbling. I did it just now. You think I'm fumbling bad just talking. Did Christopher Hitchens do a thing with Alex O'Connor? No, you might be right. Did he? I don't know if I remember that or not. No, I don't think he did. Might be thinking of something else. Yeah, he died in 2012, so I don't know if he... Maybe it's Richard Dawkins you're thinking about. This controversy, Christopher Hitchens storms out of an interview with Alex O'Connor. I don't think that was Christopher Hitchens. I think I know it's the dude who was like got upset because they were talking about drugs too much. Was it? Famous journalist storms out of interview. I actively dislike you because they were talking about drugs. Peter Hitchens. Peter. Peter. Yeah, you're thinking about Peter. Okay. Man, I was just as confused as you were. Not gonna lie. Peter. I do remember seeing that. Is that Christopher's brother? I wouldn't have minded seeing Christopher Hitchens and Alex O'Connor have a discussion. I really like Alex O'Connor. I think he does quite good at what he does. Christopher's younger brother, it seems. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I did see that. That interview was a little rough. Even like the introduction, like Alex asked how he was doing, and it was something like, "So far, so good," or something like that. Like he gave a very like, it didn't sound like he wanted to be there to begin with. I don't know. Feel bad for Alex because he has all these guests on his show. Every now and then you're gonna get someone who's just it doesn't really work out, and that just kind of sucks. And I think one of the last like debates or whatever I watched was what was it? Richard Dawkins and why am I blanking on his name? Richard Dawkins and Jordan Peterson. Uh, I watched them with Alex moderating. Figured that Alex was trying to fish for a headline instead of having an honest debate. Maybe. Yeah. To each their own. You're gonna get some people who, and it's not even always like man, that guy's an asshole. Sometimes it's not even that simple. Sometimes people are just different. Sometimes people are just like react differently in different situations, or just aren't really on board with certain situations. Did I vote for Trump? I did not. Okay. See, y'all are talking about quantum functions, quantum physics and stuff, and that's just not. That's an area I need to force myself to study more is quantum mechanics and quantum physics and stuff because I am completely illiterate there. We can have a will but not free will. Is that the debated topic of if there isn't a God and this all just is chemical reaction, does that mean we actually have free will? It's a great question. The brain's just weird. And it's super weird. And hard to understand it. It just does things, and we don't understand a lot of it. Does not necessarily mean that the answer is something supernatural or that we must have a soul or whatever. Just like all the weird stuff, solar eclipses and insect swarms and natural disasters and diseases that we used to think were something supernatural, we now understand aren't. They have natural explanations for them. I have a very happy kitten. Are you a happy kitten? Are you a happy kitten? Alright. I mean, I say kitten, she's like 11. The cat hairs. Who you are and what defines you is a combination of both past factors and your environment constantly molding you. I agree. You never really had a choice in the kind of person you become. Maybe not. I think maybe later down the line, when you become a little bit more self-aware, you can start making active changes. Like, I want to be this type of person, regardless of what my upbringing was or anything like that. I have cat hair all over my face now. But overall, we're largely shaped by our experiences and things that are out of our control. I agree. God is not a scientific theory. And any choice or decision you take is a result of those past factors. Yeah. You have a will, but it's not free. Yeah. It is nail polish. Does that trigger you? Does that upset you? Only a hypothetical omnipotent or omnipotent being that is free of causality could possess free will. Perhaps. Yes, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry my fingernails upset you. You have free will, you also have societal norms that will control if you get removed or not from existence. Consequences have actions. This is true. I just believe that there was someone who created that science. I've been in that boat before. What was before the universe? What created it? Before the Big Bang? It's a fantastic question. That's not a cop-out, it's just reality. Yeah. It was God. Well, you gotta prove that. You can't play God of the gaps and just be like, we don't know what it is, therefore it must be God. Because we didn't used to know where the sun went at night, so we thought it was something supernatural. But now we understand that it's not. We used to think that changing of seasons, natural disasters, eclipses were something supernatural, and now we understand that they're not. So, plugging God or supernatural answers into things that we don't know has failed us so many times in the past. It just wouldn't make sense to continue doing it. That's why the God of the Gaps fallacies are such an issue. Time and space could have had a very different way of functioning before the Big Bang happened. Maybe. Who really knows? Do planets have brains? As far as I understand, no. As far as I understand, it would be inorganic material, non-living material, with living stuff on it. At least on. So how are they moving? Physics. It's about time we start trying to figure out those things. People are trying to figure it out. We just don't know. Looking to Wes Huff. Wes Huff. Wes Huff. I'm going to type it in just so I have it later, because I'm not going to get up and disturb the kitten to grab a pen and paper. West Huff. You ever throw a bottle into a body of water for nostalgia? That's littering and should be frowned upon. What physics, gravity, how? You know how it just kind of floats around going with the flow of water? Okay. There's a cat attacking a plastic bag somewhere. I believe that God created the universe and possibly the multiverse, and he lives in the dimension of time. So he is spread throughout time itself. So he is in every point in time. Maybe. I definitely think if a God exists, especially if it's like kind of like the Abrahamic God, it is one that exists outside of time and space and is therefore unaffected by time and space. I would say. Circle just popped up. Don't do that. I am one thing to add to the things that I'm illiterate about is technology. Don't attack your sister while she's on my lap. The other cat just ran up. Smokey's got some zoomies going on. I believe it because I think God is a good entity with good morals and values that he wishes us to uphold. Maybe. I just don't know if we have any backing of that or how much backing we have of that. The person who asked me to look up Wes Huff, is it Wesley Huff as well? Because I'm getting a lot of stuff on Wesley Huff. It's like Wes just his nickname. Is that the same person? Wesley Huff, apologist, public speaker, teacher. I assume this is who we're looking at. Tried to kill us several. God was killing in the Bible. I respect an inquisitive mind. Seek Christ and you will find truth. Maybe. But I am inquisitive. I am seeking truth. Don't ask me why that reminded me of this, but another comment I want to like, and I want to make a video about, I'm probably going to, just one of my shorts, is people who comment, Christianity must be true because of how many people are upset about it. People get upset about the truth. They know it's real, so that's why they're so angry about it. It stirs up that emotion, so it has to be true. That is a wild connection to make. That if someone doesn't like your religion or what you're doing or anything, that must mean that you're right. That is a wild concept that you can apply to different things that you shouldn't apply. We are supposed to fear God. It wouldn't surprise me if there were some angels supposed to spark fear. This persecution concept complex, maybe. Yeah, it is silly. Also, some people argue like you're not going up against like what the top apologists are saying. No, I'm not. Because who do you think is in my comment section? Who do you think is watching my videos? My videos are mostly catered towards the average, everyday Christian. It's like some of these commenters, it's like if you've studied Christianity and stuff more, good for you. I'm happy for you. Do that. I recommend it. But like, some of these dumb arguments that I regularly make comments about, there's a lot of people who hold to those arguments dearly and think that they're like the end-all be-all arguments. So I'm trying to just talk to the general public. Jordan Peterson isn't in my comment section, trying to argue. When I make those videos responding to commenters, it's not the top Christian apologists. It's just normal everyday people. I'm more interested in what they believe before the whole God spiel. Christianity is true as stand against scrutiny. Standing against scrutiny doesn't make it true. I should probably end the live soon. It's getting late. We have theories and ideas, but not knowledge yet. The closest thing we have to knowledge is scientific theories. It's the highest honor a scientific idea can get. But even then, we leave open the possibility that it could be wrong. And in fact, one of the requirements for a theory is falsifiability. It's got to be something that we can prove to be wrong. Or at least, like, hypothetically prove to be wrong. Pre-Hinduism, pre-Vedic religions, what about them? I haven't studied a lot of, like, the old ones. I study more modern ones that are around today. Peterson seems to be an atheist. He believes the story has merit, but not necessarily the actual divine parts. Yeah, he's got... When I first came across Peterson, like a year ago, I honestly really liked him, because he had more of, like... He doesn't really go towards the black and white thinking. He has more of, like a gray area type of thinking that I really like and respect. But then listening to him explain that gray area thinking is, I don't know. I hope he knows what he's talking about, because it's so out there and weird the way he thinks. And maybe he's right, who knows? But I don't know. He just gets lost in the sauce a little bit in some of his arguments and some of his stuff. And of course, I say that as someone who would absolutely lose in a debate with Jordan Peterson. Whenever it's always important to know, whenever I talk about like this apologist or this activist or whatever, they could all wipe the floor with me. I am a random nobody. I just found out I could spin my fidget cube, and now my ADHD is fixated on that. I have to have this when I record, just I need something to mess with as I'm just sitting here. Claiming to have knowledge is itself a knowledge claim. True. Yes. I would agree. What is the purpose of life? Are you curious about God? The purpose of life is just kind of whatever we decide it is. Living seems to be like the main purpose of life. Living. Doing it the best that we can. Helping others. Setting things up to where others can do the same. You don't need to know something is the case to claim it is true, or that it is likely. You can simply believe something with a reason without really knowing it to be the case. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. What's the purpose of my live? Just discussing religion, Christianity, God, stuff like that. To claim that we have no knowledge isn't a knowledge-based claim. Is it not, though? To claim that we have no knowledge isn't a knowledge-based claim. Maybe. Could it be argued that you're claiming to know that we don't know? Or is that am I getting too lost in the sauce there? Are you a Christian? No. I used to be. I am an atheist. There is a process of authenticating ancient documents. Yes. It's my obsession with God. I'm just passionate about religions and stuff. Always have been, even when I was a devout Christian, studying to be an apologist, defending Christianity. I've always been very passionate about religion and stuff. Still am, just in different ways. The idea of God is also very, very prevalent in our world and in our society, and especially the Christian God here in the United States, and it has a very big effect on how people are allowed to live their lives. So I think it's something important to discuss. And even without it being, in the political sphere or anything, Christianity can have a negative impact on just the individual level. So just helping people out with that. Did I know the full truth? What do you mean? It's just an interesting topic. It is. So I made a video a while back. Someone was like, you spend all this time, talking about religion and God. Get a hobby. This is my hobby. This is fun. I enjoy this. Knowledge is more like you can actually possess with certainty true information. That is impossible. Maybe. Anything less than that, you don't really know something. I mean, you can always argue, like, what do we know? What do we really know? Like, nothing can really be known for certain. Pisses a lot of people off, but it's interesting, yeah. I just see you live at 5 a.m. my time, always talking to Christians. It's 12 p.m. my time. Running the same circles daily? I don't really see it as circles. Merely having a reason to believe and asserting that thing is true doesn't constitute knowledge in this way. I agree. Nothing at all changes though you say the same thing. They say the same thing. Maybe. I mean, we have other discussions about other stuff, and maybe we just like discussing the same things. Did you know that Jesus died for your sins, and that you would get to heaven because you believe? But if you change your mind, it's your choice to change. Prove that Jesus died for my sins, and that he's anything supernatural or anything like that. I can't think I exist and be wrong. Is that true? I mean, I agree, but what can we know? Well, good luck, bro, but surely you can do something better. I'm going to the gym. Like going to the gym and improve. I don't have time or energy to go to the gym. Until we can shoot a telescope far enough to observe the creation of the universe, we'll never truly know, and everything is just a theory. Scholars have proved it. The divinity of Jesus? They have not. Do you see what happened to Stephen Hawking when he told people that God wasn't real? Oh, you're thinking he got struck with his ailment because he didn't believe in God? Yes, you do. If you have 45 minutes, you can get a solid workout in. I usually don't have 45 minutes. And I'm exhausted. I have a very physically demanding job. For a matter of fact, Jesus died to pay the debt you and I should have paid in hell. But he was loving enough to sacrifice his own life to do that. Can you prove that supernatural claims is real? Also, I really don't see Jesus' sacrifice as a sacrifice. Jesus is God, and most Christians believe in that. So he's living it up in heaven, paradise. He came down for about 30 years, did some things, had a very terrible couple days, and he suffered. It was awful. Whatever. Died. And then a couple days later, he got back up like nothing happened, walked around like nothing happened, let someone stick their fingers in his wounds like it was a party trick, and then he skipped back up to heaven. He's fine. He didn't sacrifice anything. It looks more like an egotistical look at me display. It gives vibes of like an abusive partner donating a kidney to you and then saying like, I donated a kidney to you, you can never leave me. Because I remember my upbringing, Jesus' sacrifice was brought up a lot. It's like, look, see what he did for you, and you're just going to go sin and whatnot. He died for you. It's very manipulative and abusive. And he didn't even make a sacrifice. It wasn't even a sacrifice. Assuming it all happened as depicted to begin with. Fair enough. But get big, bro. Forget this big brain shit. I prefer big brain over big muscles, personally. While observing distant galaxies, we can see them as they were billions of years ago, providing insights into early universal structure and evolution. That's cool. I love space. I might be about as passionate about space as I am about religion, although I don't study space as much these days. We lived a perfect life that would be impossible for us. These are claims. These are claims. The light has been traveling through space for millions of years, so its pattern is largely undisturbed. This means that the pattern we see today is the same as the pattern when the light was first created. Maybe. Something that I want to be, I wish I could be alive to see in like 4 million years. So, or 4 billion, million. See, I have to search stuff up. When Andromeda collides with the Milky Way. In about 4.5 billion years, Andromeda is supposed to collide. And I've seen like pictures that people have made of like what that might look like. And it's like just seeing a massive galaxy in like 2 billion years, just seeing like a galaxy like as, hundreds of thousands of years pass, like slowly getting closer and closer. And just, I love space. I love looking up at the night sky and like seeing stuff. So the idea of being able to look up and like see a whole galaxy just like sitting there is amazing. And then it's all going to go bad. But the sun might take us out before Andromeda does anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think the sun is supposed to die somewhere like right before that. What was that? Wait, what was that? Okay. I looked up like when will the sun die, and like the suggested thing was like countdown. Do we have a countdown to that? I mean, I guess we could. Sun expected to die in about 5 to 10 billion years, so it could take us out before that. Especially because we don't know at what part of the sun's dying process it's going to take us out. Assuming we don't destroy the Earth first. Turns into a red giant, and then we were all fucked. Yeah. It'll probably engulf us, but the increased radiation and stuff I think is going to get us before it like actually touches us. It's just when, like somewhere between like hey, I'm dying now, and hey, I'm eating you now, is when Earth isn't going to be able to do anything. Now, children, get along. But stuff I would like to see Andromeda colliding. I think it's cool. I also, so the moon has been like drifting further from Earth, over the past however long it's been around. I am jealous because like people who lived a long time ago got to see a bigger moon in the sky, and that makes me jealous. I see your previous comments. Chat's kind of moving fast, and I'm rambling, so there's a lot of stuff that I didn't see. Do you think humans are still evolving and will adapt to climate change? Earth's climate has changed naturally over the course of its history, and animals have adapted to it. But this artificial climate change that we have going on, this perhaps sped up human caused climate change that we have, is a different beast, and it might be something quite different. And we don't know, who knows what, if any, life would survive. I'm sure some life would, probably not ours. Well, I'm sure some life might bounce back after we kill the planet. Not us. Maybe the whole process will start all over again. I don't know. Yeah, look up microwave background radiation. It's cool. Cool. Doom, I don't allow links, so YouTube probably grabbed your link and banned it to the Shadow Realm. I think we can all agree that paintings have a painter, even if you don't know who it was, and all buildings have a builder. Creation has a creator. Yeah, but we can see the process of like, here's a person sitting down, painting something, and then it's a painting. Like, we can see that process and verify that entire process. We don't have that with the universe or how you put creation. So we can't necessarily just assume that just because this man-made thing needs humans to be made, we can't exactly equate that to, therefore this non-man-made thing needs something else to be made. It doesn't quite work like that. We can always send families to Mars to ensure mankind survives, and then we can return later to destroy Earth again. If we don't destroy Mars first, we'll become like locusts, just planet hopping, destroying planet after planet after planet. Especially if we go to a different planet with the technology and stuff that we have now, the stuff that we're rapidly killing our planet with now, it would speed up the process. Because thousands of years ago, we didn't have as big of the planet killing stuff as we do now. It wasn't as big of an issue. So like, we wouldn't get like the starting from scratch until we get to the point where we're killing the planet. We would start with a lot of the same tools that we're actively killing our planet with now. So I don't know. I do think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I enjoyed this live. Thank you, everyone, for being here. My lovely wife, the Taylor that you see in chat.
That is me.
That is you.
I am Taylor.
But thank you, sincerely, truly, everyone. My last two lives have been really nice and active, and a lot of conversations and interesting topics and stuff. Uh, and I really, really like it. I like it. You know, it's still weird because I'm a random nobody. So I mean, the fact that anyone even clicks on this live is like, wow, that's crazy, and like, thank you. But thank you. Any and all support. None of it's required, and it's all appreciated. I usually go live every Tuesday nights at 9:30, 10:30, somewhere in there. I put my daughter to bed, wait for her to fall asleep, get stuff ready, and go live. So like it varies. Usually somewhere between the 9 and 10 o'clock hour, um, Central Standard Time, um, and maybe I'll see you guys then. But thank you, truly, everyone, for being here. And I hope you all have a good night, day, life.